be Michelle and Mark Pruitt. They are the founders of Upland's Peak Sanctuary. Please welcome Michelle and Mark.
Hello everybody, I'm Michelle.
I'm Mark.
And we kind of like to tag team because we both like to talk. And we both kind of have different relationships with all the animals that we live with. So we like to give perspectives from kind of both sides. So we're with Upland's Peak Sanctuary. We're the co-founders. Upland's Peak is Indiana's first farmed animal sanctuary. We just relocated to Freedom, Indiana earlier this year to a 105-acre farm. Upland's Peak is dedicated exclusively to rescuing and advocating for farmed animals, and we'll tell you a little bit why that is as we kind of go into our talk today. So it's nice to see so many people here today to stand up for animals, to come together, and we hope that this is really a building moment. So what I would like to do to kind of piggyback, that is a thing, piggyback off of Jesse is I would like you right now to turn to the person to the right of you and say thank you for being here for animals today. Thank you for being here for animals today. And now turn to the person left of you and say thank you for showing up for animals today. We hope.
Now do the hokey pokey and turn your. No.
We hope that today is the beginning of each of us taking direct action to be of service to and assist with the liberation of all animals, but specifically to those animals that have been falsely labeled as food, like pigs, cows, chickens, turkeys, sheep, and fish. Farmed animals are by far the most abused animals on the planet and also the least funded and the least advocated for. And that's what Mark and I are working to change.
Yeah, so sometimes it's hard to hear statistics. So I would just welcome you right now for everybody to take a deep breath. And so listen to these statistics, yes, with your ears, but primarily with your hearts, okay? And just kind of let them settle in. So animal suffering in our world is diverse and immense, but the magnitude of human-caused animal suffering inflicted on farm animals dwarfs all other categories. 9.2 billion farm animals were killed in 2015 in the U.S. alone. 9.2 billion lives, sentient beings, were taken in the U.S. for meat, for food. 279 chickens are killed every second. 279 chickens killed every second. Live beings slaughtered. Of domesticated animals used and killed by humans in the United States, 99.6 are farmed animals. So to give you just a contrast, 0.03 are killed in companion animal shelters. So then when you look at funding for these two groups of animals, 66% of all donations to animal charities in the United States go to companion animal shelters. And again, in contrast, 0.8% of donations go specifically to farmed animal organizations. So you can see the huge imbalance in our world, in our country, and the value placed on different animals. And we're here to tell you from living with 5 years with farmed animals that there is no separation between your dog, your cat, a cow, a sheep, a chicken. The separation has been in our minds and by labels placed on them by society. There's no difference. So that's why we do what we do. There's voices out there for a lot of groups. There are very few voices for farmed animals, and there are very few places where you can come experience the sentience of a farm animal. So farm animal sanctuaries are incredibly important.
I think this has been mentioned, but in Indiana alone, there are more than 4 million pigs being raised for slaughter right now, in tiny metal sheds without windows, without the light of day, without us ever seeing them for the individuals that they are. So all of us must fight for those beings that are still imprisoned, but also we have to be of service to those beings, those individuals that have somehow fortunately managed to escape the food system, and those that have the opportunity to actually live out their life. Those like Lucy, Wilson, Bodie, Hank, that are living in sanctuary. We must come together and be of service to those beings too. So how do we do that? If we're working for the liberation of all animals, we must support our local sanctuaries. So wherever we live, we must support farmed animal sanctuaries, and they must be successful for us to accomplish our goal of animal liberation. Farmed animal sanctuaries are the only place where these sentient beings can go and live without expectations, without jobs, without being abused in any way. So like Mark said on the way here, when we were kind of trying to decide what our focus was going to be, we had a pig, Isaac, at Purdue Large Animal Hospital, and one of the texts there was like, well, what is he going to do? Because people can't fathom that he wouldn't have a job. And another text said, well, he gets to be a rock star. And Isaac is a rock star. So what I can tell you from being in relationship with cows, pigs, and chickens is that they love life. They love to be alive. And if any of us had half the gratitude to wake up every morning, half the excitement to wake up every morning as the pigs that I know, the chickens that I know have, this world would be a better place immediately. Pigs and cows, they have close friendships. Lucy and Tulip are BFFs. Pigs and cows and chickens also have beans they don't care for very much. Bodie really is not a fan of other chickens. They also avoid discomfort and pain, which Mark is going to talk a little bit about, one of our residents, Andy the pig. They seek love and affection, and they get excited with new environments and surroundings.
Yeah, so just to wrap up, we love to share animal stories because that's really important to just highlight the lives of these creatures. And so I want to tell you a little bit about Andy. Andy's about this tall. He's a pig. He's 5 years old, which is 4.5 years more than most pigs live. So 6 months is when they're slaughtered. So Andy's been around quite a long time. People think he's a little aloof and agitated because he's, you know, a little shy, and he's a little, you know, he's kind of lower on the totem pole in the pecking order. He came to peak with his sister, Annie, who's much more outgoing. So he kind of hangs with Annie, and she's his rock sometimes. But just a little story about his personality. So, you know, he gets worried and he gets fearful sometimes. And he's with a bunch of other pigs. So a lot of times, especially in the winter, sometimes they'll run Andy out of his shelter. So he's like stuck out in the cold, and he's like, I'll go out there in my evening check, and it's like, okay, I look in there, make sure everybody's breathing. Where's Andy? So I go look, and Andy's out somewhere laying on the ground outside. And I have to go out and coax him in, like literally. So this pig knows if Mark comes and helps me inside, that they probably won't yell at me. So everybody's in a sleep, and I go, come on, Andy, come on. He finally gets up, and he comes walking in there. I go in the pig shelter, and I stand kind of between him and the pigs, and he wanders in slowly and hesitantly, and he wouldn't do that. You know, he's got a friend. He trusts me. He understands what I am doing for him. And, you know, it's just sentient beings do things like that, okay? They just do. So animals, I can guarantee you, are sentient and wonderful, loving, caring creatures. So that's a little bit about Andy. And what I would say, too, if you don't believe us, if you don't believe what we're saying about farm animals, go see one. Introduce yourself to a pig, a chicken, sit down for a minute with the chicken and hang out, rub a pig belly, go meet a farm animal if you don't believe. If you need just any kind of boost, just an ounce more determination, or you need to revitalize yourself because you fight for animals every day, meet a pig, meet a cow, meet a chicken. It'll change your life.
Thank you. So we're inviting all of you to come to Upland's Peak, to volunteer, to come to our visiting day, to come to our next event. And like Mark said, the most powerful thing that we can do as animal advocates is have a direct relationship with the cow, pig, chicken, goat, as we're speaking on their behalf. We can speak from our own experiences of who they are. Thank you.